So, what was going through your mind going to sleep, knowing we had a lizard in the house?
I was surprised how quickly I did kind of like forget about it, but it was exactly what my dad said, which is like same brain. He said in the text, like, could you imagine if it got in the sheets? And that's all that I could think about was like waking up and I like feel something tussle and then I'm like, what is that? And then it's just like it's stuck in there and it doesn't know how to get out and I'm like wrapping around in it. It's like, what if it comes like even just the like like stepping on it? I stepped on it. It was in the dark. So can I get the full story? Yeah. What happened? We came home from we were coming home or we were leaving. We opened the door and it was dark out. And I like think that I saw something shoot into the house, but a lizard has not. There's been a lizard in our house one other time, and it was more because of the windows, not because they came through like main entrance. So I was like, I'm being dramatic. Maybe I saw a shadow of myself or something.
I thought something dropped behind me when I walked out.
Which that's yeah, but it did. It came through like by our feet because I saw the movement. I was like, maybe that was like our shadow or something. And then we didn't see it. Like we were back home. We made dinner. Like we were doing the
No. We walked back in and turned on the lights. No, wait.
No, see, that's the next day. Starting again. No, from the top.
Okay. So what were you thinking when...
Something scurried in, but we were like, okay, moving on. Did our whole, like, going to bed, whatever, blah, 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 nothing. I get up to pee. I'm walking out of the bathroom. And I, like, I stepped on something.
You remember what you said? I was like, what did it feel like?
This is all in the dark, by the way.
Yeah. I was like, what did it feel like? And you go, it felt like it was like a tube of toothpaste.
I didn't say that. I think I said it's something like squishy and like a tube.
That's a lizard.
Something squishy and like a tube. In my head going like, it's a fucking lizard. I just stepped on a lizard. I stepped on it. I mean, a lizard to come into your house when you're in the doorway and then to not move, like to not have the... Like, try to go try to step on a lizard and see how hard it is.
Yeah.
I stepped on it barefoot. I stepped on a lizard barefoot in the dark. And I am not a good with critters or animals. Like,
critters.
I am just not. I'm not.
Well, you grabbed a flashlight, didn't you? Or you turned the bathroom light on?
I flipped the bathroom light on quickly.
And you were looking.
And I was looking around, and then I was like, I feel like that was a lizard. So then I grabbed my phone flashlight, and I started just like kind of moving it over in the dark room. All of a sudden, you're laying in the bed right here. All of a sudden, down by the banister, I just see it.
Yeah.
And its eyes are there. And I'm like, it's a lizard in the house.
That's exactly what you did, too.
And you didn't move. You didn't say anything at all. And you're just like, what? And as you get out of it, you're laying here. It comes from the banister up by your head, up the wall, and then darts over. And then we come into the kitchen. We had just gotten back also from
Well, you know what the
flight.
Worst part about this lizard is? It's a white lizard.
It was like that light
That's
tan.
just weird.
And it was big. The first lizard that got in here was like a baby one. So like I didn't feel as freaked out. I freaked out about it, but it was like a normal, it was like a normal size thick lizard. We had gotten back from a day of traveling. We just got back from the airport. No, we didn't just get back from the airport, like later in the night. But like we had been up since very early in the morning, long flights. We're going to bed at 10. Then the lizard happens. So then we are standing in the kitchen looking for the lizard. We saw it go under, or you saw it go underneath and like shoot behind the
stove.
The stove.
Yeah.
So then we're moving the stove out. Then
classic critter spot.
It shoots behind the cabinets to where now we can't see it. We can't get it. this is where the dilemma happens. This is where just it all starts to spiral. Is what would you do? Think of yourselves in this situation. There's a lizard in your house. Your house is not that big. You don't want this thing just like be crawling around, but you're also so tired. It's hidden behind basically your walls. Like, we have no way of getting to it. We also don't know where that goes. So then you're looking up like, how do you get it? And you're supposed to like wait. I mean, just basically make them feel comfortable so that it comes out. So we do that. We probably are standing out here for 45 minutes, just like looking at the crack in the wall just to see if it'll come out because you're going to try to grab it.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. This whole time I'm thinking we're going to have to sleep in the car. Like, that's going to suck. We just got up super early today. Like, we're going to get a really bad night to sleep. It's so warm here. Like, sleeping in the car is going to be bad. And I was like, no, I don't think that'll work, but I'm definitely not sleeping in the bed, just around everything, around the lizard to come out. So I was like, well, maybe then let's see in the bathroom. I'm like measuring it out. Maybe there's the twin air mattress could fit in there, because that's the only room that has a door. Mm-hmm. It was either that or like the laundry storage room. So I was like, we're going to go in the bathroom. We'll sleep in there. I'll put towels underneath the door so that it can't come in. But you were like, absolutely not. We're not doing that. So then we did sleep in bed, but I did have us pull the bed away from the wall because that was going to be, nope. You didn't see it come by your head with no fear.
And we didn't get it until the next night.
Yeah.
So we just had a lizard in the house for a full day. And then that night we came back from teaching and it was like right by the door. We came in and it was the house was dark, and you flipped the kitchen light on.
I walked right past it.
And it was just sitting right next to the Roomba. And I was like, there it is. And we're both just like, okay, here we go. This is go time.
Move quickly. Do not make any sounds. Yeah.
And it actually ran outside.
It was so perfect because you were going to catch it. And I was like, maybe let's just open the door and like see. Because if it gets scared, at least that's one of the directions it might go. And it did. It shot right to the back of the, like where the hinge of the door is, and then snuck out.
Yep.
And I closed the door super fast.
Yep.
I hope we don't have another one. It just is so...
They suck because it's like they're so small, they're fast, and like there is so many places to be and hide. I mean, like,
it's behind the wall, behind the cupboards.
Yeah, I mean that's a shitty animal to have in your shitty critter to have in your house. It was so funny though. You just do not deal with that stuff.
No, I don't.
I'm like, just go to sleep. It's fine. It's like when you go camping, it's not like you got fucking raccoons snuggling in next to you. It's like the lizard isn't going to want to come in by you. You're going to be moving around and weird, and it's going to want to be away.
You know what movie gets me, though, with the lizard thing? Have you ever seen Parent Trap?
No.
Okay. Anybody that's seen this movie, I guarantee immediately they're like, I know exactly what scene she's talking about. They have the stepmom, and they go on this hike, and a lizard falls onto her head. And as she's freaking out, the lizard crawls down her face, and then she screams, and it goes into her mouth.
Oh my! Well, it's a movie. Have you ever seen Godzilla? Maybe it'll grow and grow and grow.
Just with the sheets.
They're a little weird, squirmy. The squirminess.
Yeah, the squirminess. That's why cats freak me out too. It's the squirminess.
Speaking of animals, we saw a rattlesnake too.
We did.
That was cool.
It's crazy.
It didn't rattle though.
The difference of our reactions again. I didn't like how I responded. I was the one that saw it, so I'm happy that like I have the.
You did. You always see
horizon view, and like I pick up on it. But
it's so weird. You're always like, "There's a snake. There's a lizard. There's an iguana."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Where is this at? I don't see it."
But my immediate was like, I remember grabbing your shirt and went, "There's a snake," and then I turned around to walk away. It's like, you're not supposed to do that. But that was my like, I didn't even think about it instinct, and I was like, that was wrong. I hate that was my go-to, was like the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do. And
what are you supposed to do? Get in a gorilla stance and stare at it?
I don't think you're supposed to like make sudden movements or like.
Oh sure, you were also
around
10 football fields away from it.
I don't know.
I mean, you were a good, like, 10 feet from it.
You think?
Yeah.
I eventually got 10 feet.
We were somewhat close, but it wasn't close enough that it was gonna jump.
I wish we could put the video in there. I have a video and the pictures. Maybe we could.
Yeah, maybe we could.
You're right. It didn't rattle, and then also the other guy on the hike. We're just like, well, we got to stand here because it's gonna slowly get across the path, and we don't want someone else to not see it.
Yeah, and you could hear people
and
coming
guy was
down.
So casual about it.
Yeah,
which made me feel better because he was
like,
being so whatever about it.
He came around. I was like, "There's a rattlesnake," and he just stopped. And he's like, "Oh," he's like, "Oh, look at him." And it was just like crawling across the path and went up. And he's like,
"Oh, he's not a problem."
Yeah, he's more scared of us than we are of him, and like he's no problem.
Down the mountain.
It's like he's not interested. Yeah, you're sprinting.
That's how we're scared.
You're like, I'll call you.
Also,
you
the amount of people. This mountain was tall. What would you call it? It's not a hill.
I mean, I guess it just. I don't know that
mountain does seem.
I just don't think I've ever heard somebody say that.
I mean, I wish I could post a picture of at the top because everybody would be like, "That's a mountain. You're so tall."
I mean, it just makes it sound like you climbed Mount Everest or some shit.
It's technically a canyon.
I think it's just you.
I don't know the difference.
You saying mountain is the funniest thing ever.
We went on a hike that was on a tall piece of land overlooking
a tall, jaggedy.
Town. But this hike was like there was a lot of rocks, uneven ground, and people. The amount of people that were running down the hill, like it seemed like that was kind of the thing at that place. Was you'd walk up and then a lot of people would run down.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be like, oh, it's just because I'm not athletic. Like I would be busting my ankles up constantly. Like I'm having to really pay attention to where I'm walking. It's like you're going double the speed and just like throwing your body at it. It's like how much of this is just like you're falling and like crossing your fingers.
Yeah.
A little bit.
You're just like catching yourself all the way down the hill.
Because even how they're running, it's like so. Ugh, I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, it was like running up it would be more difficult because of like the resistance.
Yeah.
But also you're not worried about footing and I don't know, it's just easier to run uphill than downhill. You have all that momentum and that gravity pushing you down, and then you're talking about like
uneven ground.
This wasn't like it's just a nice path up a hill and whatever. It's like this is literally rocks and cliffs.
So you're gonna if you fall.
Yeah. You
how are you not
roll?
Worried about you're falling? It's not like I tripped and I fell on the ground. It's like you could be falling off. They
have to just do it a lot, or like I don't know. Maybe it's like we're seeing them run at the spots that are kind of fine, and then the spots that get real sketchy, they're obviously like slowing way down for the sketchy spots.
I mean, every spot that I saw people running, I'm like, I am slow walking this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That was crazy too, is like how much like I said it when we were on there, when you don't do something like a specific active thing and then you go do it and you're like, wow, this is way harder than. It's like I think I'm generally fit and can do a lot of different things, and like we did it and it was cool, but it was like, wow, I can tell we definitely do not do this ever because it was tiring and it was hard. And then we got to the top and we were like, holy crap, that had to have taken forever. And we looked and it was like 45 minutes. It's like that was only 45 minutes. That felt like it was an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then we have to go down it, which going down it was easier. It wasn't difficult, but it was weirdly because we both were like, oh, this is going to take half the time. It felt like we were cruising. It was like the same amount of time to go down it too, which was kind of weird, but
it was crazy how many times we stopped and we just like see people higher than us, or like there's so much more. Like how does this? It was
on
so
like
much taller than you think.
one part of it, and we looked up. I think you saw them. You're like, look at all those people, and it was like on the other cliff, like mountain or whatever, and we're like, there's no way this is the one.
Like I thought they were on a different hike.
Yeah, and sure enough, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. But I always think that's interesting of doing something that you don't usually do, because it just shows you like, oh, there's a specific like in shape. You know, there's a in shape of going to the gym 3 times a week, lifting weights, and maybe even a certain style of that. And then there's like an in shape of hiking a lot, or there's an in shape of running. There's like I go try to run. It's like if I run a mile, my calves just cannot handle it. Like I'm out for 2 days just with tight calves. Like they're so sore. And it's just repetition and practice, and you end up it not being that the case. But when you don't do that all the time, it just, I don't know, it makes it more interesting working out of trying a bunch of different things, because you know, like, oh, this is going to challenge me, or this is going to be difficult, and I don't even have to do that much of it.
When you think of people surfing?
Oh my God, yeah. And you watch them do it too, and it's like, this looks so easy.
Yeah.
It looks like it would be so simple, so easy, and then all you hear about is like, it is extremely difficult, and you have to do it so much just to be able to get up on the board ever.
That's what I thought about yesterday doing Abby's class, which also I want to shout that out. It always reminds me of like the muscle endurance aspect of it, because like even the weights that we were doing or she was suggesting, like they're light weights, but it's still like the amount of repetitions, the series of it too, and how you're like so much like overload on that same body part. I was like, oh my gosh, like it's like hitting muscles in different ways that I'm used to. It reminded me of when I was doing the ballet stuff with you, where it's like, you're so much stronger than me. You have so much more athletic ability, but yet like a ballet bar is like making you more sore.
Yeah,
it's just like doing the movements and activating your muscles in different ways. Or I'm like, dang, like it's silly to me, like how hard this is, but it's so hard.
Well, because you think there'd be, which I'm sure there's some, but you'd think there'd be more carryover than there actually is. You know, it's like we go on 2 walks a day, so I'm sitting there going like, the hike's probably not going to be too terrible.
Yeah.
And I guess it.
Well, because you see like
wasn't
a 2.5 mile hike or something, where we're like, oh, that'll be nothing.
Yeah.
It's like we're climbing.
Yeah, and I think that's like it wasn't god awful horrible, and we weren't super sore after it, but it was definitely noticeable of like, oh yeah, we don't do this. Like this isn't our 2 walks a day. This is like a workout kind of thing. Like the intensity of it was. Toward then you see some people that are just like strolling, and you can tell they do that like every day or whatever. This is their hike they do, and they're super in shape for it.
Yeah. I like mixing those things into, I don't know if it's like regularly into your program, or just I like when those things shock me. Of like, dang, there's still like something I'm not, like there's something I'm not good at. There's a lot that I'm like, I know my body isn't physically up to date with. Like I couldn't go on a run right now, but just stuff like that, with especially like the muscle endurance. It's like, dang, this move is not difficult. The weight is not heavy. I'm used to like those being the challenges of like heavier weights or the reps, but it's just like, oh, this is a different style of lunge that I'm not used to. Or like she ended it with the Pilates burpees, which is like squats. You walk out like to a bear crawl into like mountain climbers, and then she added a push up towards the end. But it's like even that, the series of those movements over and over and over again, doing like 10 sets of that nonstop. I'm like, I can do all these things separately fine, but because it's just like a continual go pace, the consistency of the effort, I think, is what I was struggling with, but I like that.
Yeah, and that's what you take that person, it's like, okay, we're going to do a 5x5 workout, 5 sets of 5 reps, and we're going to really load the weight and whatever. And they're going to be dying through that. Like their recovery of lifting that much weight 5 times is going to be challenging for them. It's like, you're going to have some carryover. I'm just always so surprised how little. I always think it's going to be way more carryover than it is. And it's like, I don't know. Like we did her class when we were in Houston, and it was like, I was like, this is going to suck. Like I've had enough experience doing this where I'm like not going into it going, I'm going to fucking crush this. It's like I went into it going like, this is going to suck. I know it's going to suck. But then you're doing it and you're like, I didn't think it was going to suck this bad. Like I thought it was going to be like challenging and hard, but like I have to stop. Like I'm having to stop to take a break, and I'm watching all these like 12-pound ladies doing it better and for longer and like more resistance on their platforms than I am.
You put them through our workout right now. It's like they would struggle hard.
Yeah, and it's not my domain and it's not their domain.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because you're like, I'm the only guy in here and I should be able to do this fine or better than the other people. And it's like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
It is. It's cool. I like that there's that many different... that's why I say like fitness is fun. I like that there's so many different elements of keeping your body healthy and your movement healthy. It's like I'm excited that she's doing this because I've wanted something that I could follow along with. I really like the Boho Beautiful for yoga and stuff. I don't love her Pilates ones as much just because it's like only abs. But it's like this would be a great thing to start doing with traveling. Like it's super easy to do in the hotel. I don't have to like take a lot of time. It's quick workouts, which is also nice, but it's like doing that and then implementing yoga into it and then our workouts and then the walks. It's like I like that they're all so different, but they're still health and physically engaging.
Yeah.
Health focused and physically engaging.
That's where I'm always like, there's something for everybody. And my tune has changed so much about
what the perfect thing is.
Yeah, just like what that whole world is and whatever, or what all of it is. It's like whatever's going to work for you, whatever you're going to do consistently and for the rest of your life, like that's what you should be doing. And, you know, every once in a while, try to mix it up or try to do something different. You hear somebody say something good about this thing, try that out, see if you like it. Even if it doesn't stick for, 6 months, a year, or for a lifetime, that's fine. But, I mean, yeah, it's like yoga is a good workout. I struggle doing yoga. Like it's difficult. I don't ever do it. So me doing it, it's hard, and it gives me something. Now, if somebody were to be doing that every day and that's their main activity, like weightlifting is for me, perfect. It's like you're active and you're doing it all the time, and you're probably I can only do the 20-minute yogas. It's like, and there's hour-long videos on there too, and I'm sure when people go to a studio or something, it's probably that 45 minutes to an hour. It's like I couldn't do that. I couldn't get through that. It's like if the Pilates was 20 minutes, I could probably get through it. But when we went to Houston and did it, it's like, Jesus Christ, I got to stop. This is hard. Yeah. It's like, it's not that it's like you can get all in the weeds of what is the best. And there's going to be arguments. There's going to be some that probably are better than others. But none of it matters unless you're actually doing it. They always talk about that in sports or football. It's like your greatest attribute is availability. If you're always hurt and injured, it doesn't matter how fast you are. It doesn't matter how well you can catch a ball or do this or do that. If you're always hurt or always gone, like we can't use you. Yeah. There's nothing that you can do for us then. It's kind of the same concept for just regular people and working out. It's like you can talk all you want about how weightlifting is the best. If you never go do it and you are just sitting at home, it doesn't matter. It's like if you're somebody that goes and walks all the time and you're doing that 7 days a week, 2 or 3 walks a day, it's like you're doing better than the person that is claiming they know everything about, weightlifting and you should be doing this, because they're not doing it anyways. Yeah.
I do want to, I'll put it, maybe whoever posts this could put it in the description just so it's easier to find. If you search her name, Abby Purcell, it does pop up. Sometimes her handle isn't, she has a newer channel, so I don't think it pops up as easily, but maybe we can just put it in the description. Her YouTube is Move with Abby, ABBY, and it's full with, and then her Instagram is Move with Abby, and then the _. She does a lot of stuff on her Instagram too, but the YouTube I think would be an awesome, if you are especially like wanting something that's at home or quick, that's how I'm going to utilize it. That's how I'm going to utilize it for traveling as well. But she's going to post every Wednesday for now until so many people need more, and then she's going to post more. But I did the first class and it was difficult, but it was engaging. It was quick. I think it was like 30 minutes. So I would recommend.
I love the at-home stuff. Like I like doing the yogas at home and whatnot. It's just, I don't know. Sometimes you can't get to the gym or don't want to go out and do something, but you're like, I would be fine. If I could just do it here, I'd be fine.
And there's something
that's what's cool about those.
The duration that's nice, mixing in those shorter workouts. Because like yesterday was our off day, so I did it as just like get my movement in, get something a little bit more challenging than a walk. And it was like, oh, this is a perfect amount of time. Just like get in, get out. Doesn't have to be like a super large commitment, but it's something that I could easily maintain once a week doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like implementing those alternate styles of fitness.
Yeah. Now what?
Breaking in. Someone's breaking in.
Lizards are coming back to get you.
I wanted to talk about, unless you hated that topic that I talked about.
I don't like it, but
I know, but
continue.
You didn't come up with anyone either.
I know.
Okay. I always like hearing this from people, like what their routine is, what their go-to things are that they have every day of like kind of like their daily essentials, whether that's supplements or wellness products or what they do for their sleep routine or what they do for their kids and what their kids' routines are and why and what products they're using or whatever. That I think we have a very structured day and kind of do the same things, that I kind of want to just bounce back and forth of like some of our daily essentials when it comes to maybe what we eat, what we drink, physically what we do, something that like anything that you do to like stay physically well, mentally well, everything. And we also had this conversation today too about why I also like hearing this from people too is what is their top tier list that no matter what the day is, this tries to stay consistent. I love things like that where it's not a non-negotiable, but it's a constant that you know that you can count on, and it's a control group for your day, that whether you're busy, whether you're traveling, whether you've been shit moods like we have been the last how many days, it's like you can still count on doing those things and you know they will get done because they're such a structured element to your routine that I don't know if everybody has those and you just don't, maybe are not aware of them or people don't have them, but I think these things are very crucial to me feeling productive and happy.
Yeah, I think I don't know, it'd be interesting to know more specifically how other people live, I guess, and do those things, because I feel like we're generally all creatures of habit. We kind of do the same things every day, and I don't know, just like same routines typically. So I'm always curious as to like how conscious any of it is, and are you doing it for a purpose or a reason, or I don't know, yeah, like to try to be more healthy or to try to be, I don't know, with a purpose, basically. It's like you wake up, you do this, you do that. I don't know. It's I think we always talk about how we really, sometimes it's not good, but we really think about things a lot. And it's like, why do you have coffee at that time? Why do you make it like in that way? Or what, don't you think you should have it during this part of the day or doing this? Or like, why do you choose to construct your day that way? It doesn't make sense in these categories or areas or whatever. That, I don't know, at least for me, like I feel like I try to make it so efficient and so routine and the same every single day, but I have purposes and reasons for it that I wonder if other people have that as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't think of a lot of things in my day that are random.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's fluff time or like time where I don't have something scheduled, even that is purposeful. Of like, this is random time.
And do you think that's like a control thing? Like, are people that don't do that like more, I don't know, chill and just like able to let things just kind of be what they are? Or do you think it's people shouldn't be that way, I guess? Like, I don't know how I feel about that.
I would need to like really think about that and see like, okay, well, people that I know that do that, people that I know that don't, what's the general lifestyle habits that they have? I think my immediate go-to is like people that are go with the flow and are like good with just like, let's just like wake up and see what happens in the day, or doesn't have like a plan of attack the whole day. I just noticed like they are a lot less efficient and productive. Like, they don't achieve the things that they want to as regularly. And I think it's because you don't have a game plan, and you're not sure if you're on the game plan, if you faltered off, if you're like moving forward, if you're making progress, or if it's like, if you have no it's almost like people that do that don't have a direction, and that goes down to, what's your hour by hour look like? What does your day look like? What does your week look like? What do you want to expand that into? So I don't know if it's a control thing. It could be a control of, I really like to be doing something that's going to produce value. Like, that might be a weird control thing. Like, it bothers me if it just feels like I wasted time. That irritates me. So it's maybe I'm trying to control the outcome of not having to feel like I'm wasting time. But even my random time of like, I'm just going to have an hour to like clean up, or to just sit and think, or to mess around on my phone or whatever, I still want that to be, I did random hour. I did my power hour, and then I do my random hour of like, I get to fill it with whatever I want, but it's still purposeful of, this is my time for it to be loosey-goose, and then I'm going to get back into it. But that loosey-goose is still beneficial. I still gave my brain a break. Like, if after my power hour, I'm trying to be better at stopping my work and then like disconnecting so that I can not look at a screen, so that I'm also not going to choose a random activity that's including my phone, because I'm trying to give my eyes a break, give my brain a little bit break. Maybe I am just like, I'm walking around, or I'm sitting and I'm thinking, or I'm putting away laundry or whatever. That is still an intentional random hour, but this is my time to disconnect. So then later in the day, or when the week is getting stressful and I'm like, I have no time to chill, it's like, bullshit, you had a random hour every single day. That's when you can be using that and calculating the time appropriately to fill it with the fun stuff, or the random stuff, or the whatever you need to get done time. I think it's just like an efficiency thing for me, knowing that like I got my marks.
Do you think the people that are more go with the flow are less stressed out?
No.
No?
No. And I say that so confidently.
Really?
No. I think the people that are go with the flow get stressed about life so easy that it might seem like their day to day, they don't get caught up in the schedule of what we're going to do. But when life hits, or when stuff happens, I think they get drawn under way easier, because then they're like, well, why don't I have this in my life, or why can't I achieve this, or why does it feel like I'm kind of always spiraling in adulthood or with whatever. It's like it's because you're too go with the flow. Like, you're not keeping track of your life. And life is dramatic, but like your day to day.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things that like, it really depends on how chill you maybe are, or how go with the flow you really are. Because I think there's some people that like really, they just embody that, and that really is how they should operate.
Sure.
And like being the way that we more so are would be so stressful, and they'd be like, this is chaotic.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want my brain to work this much and be thinking this much. And then I think there's people that are on our end of that are even more extreme, and we could be extreme potentially, but I think we like that we're this way, or like it works for us. We like having it all scheduled and planned and everything, but I think there's people that like they go overboard with it. And we all have tendencies too. It's like, I'm sure we go overboard with it sometimes too, but there's people that kind of live in that they probably are way stressed out because of how crazy it is. But I don't know. I always think about that because we always say like, we're going to die because of stress. Like we're just, I don't know. It's just like, we're just constantly trying to figure out this puzzle of life and just like nonstop thinking about it, dissecting it, just trying. And then there's some people that are just like, I never even thought about it. And it's like, how have you never thought about this? And they're just like, I don't know. It's like, and you're alive. How are you even alive and living and like enjoying and doing stuff? You know, we're so, I think, like goal orientated, or we want to be productive. We want to be efficient. We want to like maximize as much as we can. And then there's some people that are just like, I'm just here. And it's like, I just don't like, I can have those moments and those times, but I don't know, like when I'm at home or something, like I want to be productive and efficient and whatever. It's usually when I'm out and about where I'm like, I'm fine just like being here. It's okay. But I don't know.
Yeah. And I don't know. I can also go with the flow. I think it's like your nutrition. Like it's 90-10. Like 10% I can be chill. We have days where we're like, I don't know what we're going to do. Or like I could be comfortable with that. I'd be fine with like, I don't know what the day is going to be. Like, let's just wing it. We got a lot of shit to do. Like, let's just see how it plays out. Like, we'll run errands at a certain time. We'll go work out at a certain time. We'll eat when we eat. Like, I'm fine with that.
I'm not.
But that's 10% of the life. To where I think some people, it might be the opposite. They might be more 90% in the chill. Let's go with the flow. I would say, I bet some of those people do have a schedule and a regiment that they're just not really attacking. It's more just, they just like follow that maybe unconsciously. Like it's, I think of like food. How do we all kind of generally eat like 3 times a day? It's like, we're not all following the same strict schedule, but there's certain things that you just know, oh, I eat 3 times a day. That's something I do. It's like, you manage to fit that in majority of the time. Why don't you do that with other things? It's like, it's so habitual to do that I don't think people like that get stressed about what we get stressed about. Like, oh, well, that knocked us off an hour of the day. Like, now it's going to be shifted a little bit, or we didn't get that done today, so now we're going to have to edit tomorrow. And I don't think they get stressed about that. It's when the results come in and they don't have the life that they want, the person that they want to be with. Their kids aren't acting a certain way. Their, friends aren't, like, whatever. I'm trying to think of like every age group. Those are the people that I think get really stressed and overwhelmed about life with those things when those start to come in. It's like, well, a lot of that I think is because you don't have a grasp on the daily routine and your functions, to where we maybe get stressed about a little bit of the minutia of stuff, but overall life is not difficult. At least for me, I would say like adulting is not, I wouldn't say like that's like really taking me out. Like generally I think like I have a grasp. But yeah, so if we're out of coffee one day, I'm like, what are we going to do?
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of think about that a lot. I think about that more of how do I calm down rather than like, I don't know, get stuff jacked up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think about that thing of like, yeah, what's gonna, like, I've got the exercise. I'm lucky where I like doing that. I like eating healthy food and I like choosing that. Like, I've got those health markers under wraps, but it's the stress thing that I think about that I don't feel like I have under wraps.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is there a connection between just like the obsessing and the constant thinking about every little detail of the day or every little detail of every little thing? I mean, it's like I'm looking up computers and I'm doing that for 4 hours trying to find the best thing to get. And it's like, is it really going to matter? Like, I could have probably just picked. But then there's also that weird thing of like, yeah, but if I didn't look enough into it, I would be sitting there going like, I didn't research that enough.
Yeah.
And then like the first little thing that happens, I'm like, yep, see, that's because I would have done that. And it's like, how do you just let that kind of go, or again, make it more efficient and not so time consuming or stressful or whatever, but still getting what you want out of it? And like everything, there's a spectrum that people live on in all these little categories and stuff that like, I think we're a little bit more, and it's also what your goals are. I mean, the people that we're talking about generally are like, I don't care what I do for a job. I don't care what I'm like, where I live or what this is, what that, like, they don't have the same goals and wants and things that make them happy as we do. You know, it's like what makes us happy is like being productive and efficient and having that sort of thing. What makes them happy is like, I give two shits about being productive. Like, I just want to be able to fucking go play pickup basketball today.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's
your life.
I'm getting so much better at when things get stirred up of like, it's fine. Like, I joked about like, if we ran out of coffee, like I would spot. It's like, no, maybe before I'd be like, oh, what are we going to do? And then like, now we're going to it's going to mix up the morning and we're on a tight schedule of getting to the beach at a certain time where I'd not be like, we'll just go get coffee. It's fine. Or like, we'll go to the clubhouse and we'll get coffee. Like, I just immediately go like, we're going to figure out a plan and that plan's going to be fine and it's really not going to affect anything. And it might be more fun. Take advantage of, we ran out of coffee. Now we get to go get coffee. I love doing that. So see it as like, cool. I'm so happy that we ran out of coffee.
And I don't
forget about it.
I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I feel like that's me rubbing off on you.
Yes, it is.
Because you used to be like,
everything's intense.
Oh, this is such an insight to us, which is awesome. If that situation happened 2 or 3 years ago, like, this is exactly how it would go. I would go, it's fine. We could go to the clubhouse. We could go, maybe not 2 or 3 years, maybe even longer than that.
I go, you didn't care about me.
If we ran out of coffee, you would be like, we ran out of coffee. We don't have coffee. And I'd be like, it's fine. We'd go to the clubhouse. We'd go get a couple. We'd be like, no, I don't want to do that. And it'd be like midnight the night before. And you'd be like, can we just go get coffee at Walmart or something? I'm like, you want me to drive fucking 30 minutes to go get coffee? Like, no, we'll just get the clubhouse. Like, it's fine. It's just coffee, whatever. And I'd be like, don't you like, I would say this too. You like going and getting coffee. You like going out. She's like, yeah, but not when it's like this. That's exactly what it would be. You would go, I want to go get coffee when it's like fun and I want to go get it, not when we ran out because now it's like an emergency. That's exactly how it would go.
You're half correct.
That's exactly how it would go.
You're half correct. You hit it on the head with the not like this, or like, yes, you would bring up the like going to coffee, whatever. But you're missing the tune. Just
I know.
A sitch.
Can I finish
correct
it up?
yourself? Yeah.
The last thing is probably because you would feel stupid for not knowing we ran out of coffee.
No.
Oh.
Not at all.
Twist in the story.
If you think I should feel stupid about that.
Well, I don't mean like stupid. I just like, you'd be like, oh, how did I not catch that? And that would be part of the spiral. Maybe
back in the day. Now you make the coffee every day. So I'd honestly be like, why did you run out? Like, why were you not keeping tabs? Keep the coffee inventory. Like, we order it now. Like, you got to say weeks ahead of this.
We have a whole digital thing of, okay, use 4 scoops today. That means we only have 16 left.
This is where you are correct. And I would start to really get into my head about it. But the part of the story where you're like, we would just go to the clubhouse or we would just like go get coffee. No, you would have. You would have not said, let's go get coffee. That would have maybe been my solution. Your solution would be like, we'll just go without coffee tomorrow. We can handle it. Or like, we'll just do something. Like you wouldn't even say this. You wouldn't even involve me. It would be, we ran out of coffee. You would go, that's okay. I'll just not have it tomorrow. Great. Good for you. What am I? then now I'm thinking, okay, well, I could go get coffee. That would be fun. But now I'm having to do something that's out of the schedule. So then you're having to come get coffee with me. So now I'm a nuisance. Now I'm like a burden of the day because I'm having to go do a task. And yes, if I'm going to go spend the money and go get coffee, I want it to be I'm going to go sit there and enjoy the coffee. I don't like going and grabbing coffee and leaving. To me, it's like you're paying for the coffee shop. You're not paying for the coffee.
And I don't like going and
for the environment. So now I'm feeling like a burden because I have to go get coffee or do something different because I'm the addict that can't go without coffee, even though you're like, I'm fine. I'll just not go without it. Okay, so now I'm the crazy one that can't let it go and can't have coffee. And I'm taking us out of the way to go get coffee. And I don't get to do the full experience of I'm paying for coffee and I don't even get to sit here because I'm going to feel like he hates me. So we got to go and I have to make this as fast as possible. That's what you missed.
I feel like that's very California year one.
California volume 1, season 1.
Yeah.
Courtney season 1.
And me, like for me too. Year 2, I think I would think about she's going to want it, so I should say something.
No.
Yeah, year 2. California year 2.
I was going to say, like, here?
No.
Here. Texas, maybe.
I know I give you shit, but you're delusional. That is both of what we said is exactly what the situation would be.
Which is, it's both in each other's heads. Like, they both have slivers of the truth.
Well, and people listening are probably like, there's such an easy solution. Whether it's like on your side or my side, too. It's like, yeah, just go without coffee for a day. And then somebody else will be like, yeah, just go sit at a coffee shop for a day. Who cares? It's just sitting in a coffee shop. I'm like, yeah, but it's fucking just sitting there.
Yeah.
This is stupid. Watching all these dorks come in and get their coffees.
Well, and that's where the stress comes in and the annoying stress comes in, which we are also so far away from the topic, but it's fine. It doesn't come down to the stress of breaking the schedule or breaking the routine. It's the stress of the result that we had to deal with breaking the schedule. It's like, if you were like, you know what, screw it, let's go get coffee tomorrow and like, let's just sit at the coffee shop. Great. No problem. Or if I was like, you know what, I will get up earlier. I will run through Starbucks. I'll come back before you even know it. And then we'll be off to the regular thing. But.
Well, and I think that's the kind of the danger of being so strict with the schedule thing. Or having so much attachment to it. I like having the strictness of it, but having so much attachment to it, because if one thing goes awry and you can't handle it,
yeah,
it's like that's you're too dependent on this stuff now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the situation we just explained is like that wouldn't happen now, but
no,
back then that would happen, and now it's like we can't, like, if we deviate from our schedule, we fall apart because we can't handle like communicating effectively or like liking each other after the situation. It's like, if we don't have coffee in the house, our relationship falls apart. It's like, that's what
it used to be. Yeah.
So like, that's what it almost equates to. So it's like, now everything has to be perfect all the time. And like, that's not a stable base to create.
That's where I will say,
questioning.
No, I'm wanting to, because I was about to say it very matter-of-factly that I want to make sure that I'm confident in saying that. I really feel like I've detached from it. Like, I don't have the emotional connection to my regiment. It's like, If it doesn't happen, that's okay. If I don't work out today, that's okay. Like before, like I remember there was one 4th of July where we went in the morning, but because we were going to go to the we got to the gym earlier because we knew we were going to go to the parade. So we wanted to at least fit in our workout, but because we couldn't finish it before the parade, I was like, okay, well, we still need to come back later because we need to finish the workout. And like the stress and the pressure that I had of like, it's going to all crumble to the ground if we don't fit in the rest of the workout. And then they had closed for the rest of the day. And I'm like, I'm going to get overweight. Like everything from this one half of a workout that I'm missing, like all of my progress is going to go away. And like that, I would have, like that would have been my state with a lot of the things now, to where it's like, I could go a week and it's like, okay, it's not smart. And I don't like to do that because I like to, I don't know, I like being physically active. So it's also just going to start to make me not feel good. But it's like, I could miss a day of workout. And it's like, if it got busy and whatever, and we had a reason for it, I know I'm going to pick it back up. I know I'm going to get back into it. I'm not stressed about that. If we have to miss a beach walk in the morning because we had to take our car in or whatever, I'm like, that's okay. Make the best of the switch up the schedule and do something different. Maybe you start the day with something else that's fun because you're not doing the regular thing that you do. So like, let's have it be fun and do something different. I'm not attached and like a failure type of way if I don't execute the perfect daily regimen anymore. It's like taking advantage of the mix up and having it be fun.
Yeah, well, and I think there's just like you fail enough doing it, like that it ends up being, I think naturally you just are like, this isn't a failure, this isn't a big deal at all. This is just a detour for the day, and we can't do the regular day, and that's fine. And I think, I don't know, when you're able to detach from it like that, you're a little bit able to appreciate when you do have your regular day, because it's like, oh wow, we kind of have everything cleared up. That usually seems to be what it means, is like all of the weird taking the car in or doing this or doing that is like out of the way. I don't need to designate extra time for these other things, and I can do my regular stuff. It's like, typically it means everything's off the plate and you can do your regular stuff. And I don't know, I think it makes you appreciate it a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, we're pretty much the same thing every day if we can choose to be. With the essentials part of it, like coffee just boosts my mood too much. Like I hate being dependent on things, but I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. And like coffee and exercise seems to be those things that are like, if I haven't exercised in a few days, I'm probably starting to get cranky. And if I'm not having coffee, I don't remember the last time I didn't have coffee in the morning, but I notice a significant just like attitude when I don't have coffee. It's just like, man, I just like screw everything. I hate everything. And it's that cliche of it, but I don't know. It's true for me. Like it boosts my mood too much to like even go through times where I'm like, I'm just going to go off coffee for a little bit. Like I did that a few times and I'm like, this just sucks. Like every day fucking sucks. This isn't worth coming off of it. It's just not. So I don't know. Coffee is one of those for me that's like, man, if we didn't have coffee, like if we were in an apocalypse and there was no coffee for some reason, like that's probably the first thing I'd try to find. It's like safety and coffee, because I know my brain's going to work way better to try to survive through this than not having it, because it just I'd be a freaking nightmare to be around. I'd be a nightmare to be with myself.
Yeah, I'm like that with the caffeine thing, which is both of yours, like coffee and working out. Like I feel like both of those really affect your way of thinking, which is crazy.
That's what it is.
Like,
yeah.
It's not like, oh, I'm not working out, to where for me, like, I notice, like, I start to get kind of funky, like, whether I get tight or I start to get achy. Like, if I'm not moving, my body starts to just, like, feel more uncomfortable. But yeah, for you, like, both those, like, it's your brain, it's not your body necessarily that really gets fucked up about it.
Yeah. Essentials a tough, like, I think the reason I don't like this topic is
it sounds like a non-negotiable.
I could do without everything.
Right, I know.
And I would survive and be fine.
This is just like, these are things that you try to, or are a part, like, are a part of your routine.
I can play in the extremes.
Okay.
I think, I don't know, for some reason I just felt like I need to be like, it's not essential. I'm okay.
Yes. Yes.
I don't want to be somebody that's like, I have to have my coffee every day, otherwise I'm gonna. But
well, and that's what I was gonna say with the coffee too. It's I think with this stuff that maybe like you're teetering on the, not dependability, but maybe a little bit, like finding the best ways to utilize that in some, like, we are not going to go without coffee. So we try to, I mean, we don't do it as much now with the beach walk. Like, we don't wait as long as
it's still pretty,
you're supposed to, but like we probably wait an hour.
Pretty long.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah, an hour.
To where like people say you're supposed to wait 90 minutes or something.
I've always heard 60 to 120 or whatever. Okay.
And you also do the electrolytes right away in the morning, the sodium. So that should hopefully help too. And then we try to get quality coffee and look into what kind of what kind of coffee and the companies that we're ordering from.
Yeah, we recently just started doing that just because of all the mold talk.
Yeah.
Lots of mold and stuff in coffee, and yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, what's it do? It's something that I think that's what we really try to do, is something that we're having every single day. It's like,
how do you make it effective?
Well, and it's like, so I'm putting mold in my body every single day if I'm getting shit coffee.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to continue to have coffee every day, so I kind of have to get a little bit more expensive one and get one that's going to be beneficial to me, or not harmful is more so the goal of it.
Because like we wait till a decent amount so that our body and our circadian rhythm, there's a hormone that is released from your brain after, I guess, maybe 60 to 90 minutes, that starts like kicking your wake up gears in, and then it's also like a certain cycle of hours before you start to get tired. So that's why we wait. It's like waiting the amount of time, getting better quality coffee. You also don't drink it after a certain part. Like the negatives, I think, of coffee, or negatives of caffeine, is it affects your sleep if you use it improperly.
Yeah. I'm done drinking it at noon.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if I have some left or not. I'm done.
Yeah. So I think the stuff that are more we're doing every day and like know that maybe we could take breaks from it or whatever, maybe a little more dependable on it, we try to use them in the least risky ways.
Yeah, and I think my stuff, like the essential stuff, more so comes down to what's like best for my efficiency. And I think that's where it's like the coffee thing, it just boosts my mood too much. The workout thing, it's just like you said, the brain thing, the boosting the mood. And I like to be active, and you know, I used to hate going on walks. I thought it was so stupid, but now they're fine, or I like them. So now we're doing like 2 walks a day. We're working out resistance training probably every other day. So it's just like that sort of activity. Like I feel more productive and more efficient with the more activity that I have in a day. So I'm always trying to find ways to make that more and up it. And after that, it's like trying to keep the same sleep routine. It's like, it's all the shit that you hear 24/7. It's like trying to get 8 hours of sleep. It's like going to bed at 10 o'clock, getting up at 6 every single day.
You're way more regimented that with your daily things, though. Like, my one of mine was going to be the caffeine, but I think for that's why I thought like maybe you'd bring it up, like your nutrition outlook on things. Like, I think the way that you eat is very consistent. Like, as far as you will not eat the same thing twice in a day.
No, I'm always trying to get variety.
You will have your, like, consistent way of eating. But I guess maybe you don't think that's, like, a huge habit that you have, but
not really.
Like, every day.
I mean, I don't think it's super essential, or I don't think it.
Like, you'd be fine if you didn't eat that way. Not be fine, like, you're not going to spiral, but, like, that's something you put a lot of effort into. Or not. You put focus into it.
I don't know. Not really. I don't feel like I do.
Okay.
I've also just
Let's bring this up the next time that I do a veggie from lunch and for dinner. And then let's see.
Well, yeah, sure. I don't like having the same thing twice a day. Like, I won't eat 2 bananas in a day. I don't want to have zucchini for every meal. I don't want to have ground beef in the morning and ground beef at night. That honestly is crazy.
Thinking of doing like broccoli for lunch and for dinner doesn't seem weird. Eating 2 bananas in a day seems crazy.
You're off the rails. But I will have a cup of berries, an apple, an orange, a banana pretty much every day. But I won't double up.
Did I tell you? I've tried it hundreds of times because I think this is so funny.
Yes.
Say it.
Avery's boyfriend?
Abby's boyfriend. So Abby was on the phone with Steven.
Abby's boyfriend.
We were in the hotel room. Abby was on the phone with Steven.
Yeah, he ate a few bananas.
He was just like going through the day. He's like, yeah, whatever. I had a couple bananas. And me and her both looked at each other and silently were like,
like, a couple bananas.
2 bananas. And he said, like, he ate like 1.5. We're like,
well, that's even crazier. Who leaves half a banana?
That's honestly worse. Like, just finish it. Eat 2. We were both like,
maybe he got halfway through and was like, this is crazy.
Did he say 2 bananas?
That is nuts. But yeah, I don't like to double things up. I want the variety. I want as many different forms of food, fruits, vegetables, meats. Like, I want the variety. I want to try to hit all of the vitamins and minerals, or as many as I can. So it's like, I don't want zucchini twice. I don't want, like, we get enough different shit, and so it's like, I'll just cook something else or make something else.
Yeah. Really? You think that's all that you have?
What?
Like, for your daily go-tos? Maybe that's what we should call it. Not essentials, because it seems like you're getting really
the essentials things just tripping me up.
Upset about that word.
Yeah, I don't like it.
What are your, like, daily go-tos? Stuff that you do every day that might not be the obvious to everybody. It's like, what are you specific? Because, like, we're not even the same with that. Like, with some stuff that I can think of. Like, what are your consistencies?
I don't know. I feel like I just said all of them.
Coffee and working out?
And sleep.
Okay.
I don't know. I get, like,
mine,
you brought up the nutrition thing.
I'll run through mine. Mine would be definitely I need some source of caffeine. It doesn't have to be coffee every day. I mean, I do when we're home, just do coffee. But when we're traveling, like, I don't mind a Celsius, or, like, I like mixing it up like that. I just need caffeine of some sort. I think it's for me. I notice it if I don't do my electrolyte mix. Like, I will start to get a little, like, maybe it's a headache or just something, like my lips will get drier or whatever. I drink a lot of water. I'm noticing, like, I drink a lot of water, and we don't eat that crazy, that it's the salt. Like, I wasn't even doing the test that we did. It's like, I put salt on freaking everything, and my sodium levels were still low. So, like, my electrolyte mix, I do 2, half tablespoons of really coarse Celtic salt, I guess is what it's called. Celtic salt, and then magnesium and potassium.
Is it Celtic or is it Celtic?
Celtic. Celtic is, I'm thinking Celsius. I think it is Celtic. Well, it's with a C. Celtic.
You know, it was so funny. When we were at Denton, Avery was doing audio. We were talking about something, and she said, it's like a niche thing. She's like, I don't know if that's how you say it. Niche or niche. I never know how to say it. I'm like, nobody knows how to say it. I was like, that's one of those words. Nobody knows what fucking style you're supposed to say it.
It's hilarious that she still chose to say it. Like,
well, I love
when people do that word. It's like,
word.
She probably said, like, that's a word that you could say so frequently, and I bet she says it every single time that she says it. Like, I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, and I would too. Like I don't. Nobody knows
your regular vocabulary, and every time you're like, I don't know if that's right.
It's like everybody feels like an idiot saying that word. Niche seems like you're a redneck, and then niche sounds like you're.
I think it is niche.
Too like highbrow.
That's funny. I'm sure you could just Google it and listen to it. But it's like.
But nobody does.
But
then you're that asshole that Googled it and knows how to say it.
What's the
Celtic? But that's what's weird is like the Boston Celtics. It's spelled the same way.
So is it Celtic salt?
So it's like what? Who's doing this?
Celtic. I don't know. Who cares?
I'm gonna start calling it Celtic.
If you look it up,
Boston Celtic salt.
Salt, it'll come up. But I think doing my electrolyte mix is becoming more of a steady thing that I need to keep doing. I didn't bring them to Denton, and I was like, something just feels a little funky. I could do without them. It's not like a crazy thing, but I think also getting my mineral or the test done and seeing kind of where I'm at kind of shows like, yeah, I need to keep up what I'm doing and consistently keep adding in the other stuff. Also, the magnesium for pain has been so awesome for me. So I don't think I could do without that because it's like it's making certain parts of my pain, whatever, so much better.
Yeah, your cramps.
Yeah.
You're saying pain like you're trying to keep it a mystery.
Well, like even when I like get headaches, like sometimes I'll up the magnesium and they'll go away.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's specifically related to period stuff or if it is just like overall.
Oh, period stuff.
Overall.
Let's not say that.
Shedding. When it's that time of the month.
Did you say shedding?
When I shed, that's when I have cramps from shedding.
Oh, that was the last podcast we're ever doing.
That the magnesium helps like so much, but I do notice that like if I just get headaches or something like that, I will up it a little bit, and that
I'll have to think of that
because
I've never done that or never have thought of that.
Yeah,
that I should try that. Because
I mean, it's like we just don't really take like ibuprofen or anything
I like to try to stay away from it.
I also don't want the headache.
Yeah, that's
so
what it's like. And it's always that thing of, well, I feel like I've had enough water today, so it's not like dehydration, but I don't want to take, pain medication or something and then I get stuck there and I'm like, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll try that.
That's a consistency for me, or an essential or a go-to. We'll call it a go-to, a daily go-to.
I've been doing that also, but
the electrolyte mix.
Yeah, but
maybe you'll be fine. Maybe you don't need it either.
Well, but same thing with my tests. Like it said, I needed more of that stuff. I think I'm just always expecting that to feel so game changing.
No.
And things are drastically different, and it's like I don't notice anything different.
No, the only thing that I sometimes notice is like the energy level. Like I do notice a little bit of a lull, I guess, if I don't do it, or I'll notice it on the walks. I'll feel a lot more tired after our walks.
Oh, that's
on
weird.
Days that I don't. I would love to know if it also has any correlation with the like when I get swollen after the walks, if that has anything to do with it, like just like my water retention.
See, you don't have many either.
Well, no, because now, because you didn't bring anything up, now I feel like all mine are just silly and stupid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm just boring. I'm not hard to figure out.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, because I was going through like the things that I do every single day. It's the coffee, it's the electrolyte mix. I try to have some sort of movement, but then for more of like that's like more physical, I think mental or a daily habit that I try to do. Like I like to have something in the day that's just not work. Like it's just stupid. It's random hour. Like I like to try to find something every single day that's just not pointless, because it's not pointless. It's random hour, but something that just like makes me feel good and has nothing to do and correlating with my job.
So what do you like? Because I think a lot of people hear that and go like, well, I do that like at night, or I watch TV or watch podcasts or something like that. Is that sort of what you're talking about?
It's kind of that. It's more, I think, like, then this just works for me. It's when I am doing those actions, I'm actually taking a second to go, you're enjoying this. Like, this is a rewarding feeling, and it has nothing to do with making money. So
it's not just aimless TV watching, and you're not like, you're trying to be conscious of like, I'm doing this for myself and whatever.
Yes.
So I think even that's like, you could be watching TV or watching podcasts or whatever, and kind of having that consciousness and that realization of like, okay, this is like, just saying that like, this is fun.
I mean, that's like, it kind of sounds silly or stupid. You're on like, I move around and drink coffee, but it's like a daily habit that I'm conscious to do every single day. I might do it 100 times in the day. I might do it just a few, but yes, I either plan something and I know like during my random hour after my work, when I put laundry away, I'm going to save this podcast to listen to it, and I'm going to get excited about listening to that. Or I'm going to listen to music when I'm making food and like really get into listening to it. Or yeah, maybe it is like just when we're watching Ray at the end of the night, I will consciously make a note of like, take a second and say that this is awesome.
Yeah, because I think like when you're at work, all you're thinking about is, I can't wait to get home and watch TV, watch that podcast, listen to music, like do whatever. And then when you're actually home doing it, or you're wherever, I can't wait to, go hang out with friends later, and you're not doing it. You're not ever taking that moment and actually appreciating it. And it's like, I know it sounds like, who cares, whatever, it's dumb. But I think there's something a little bit to it, because so much of life is, how do I get out of this situation? This sucks. I want to get away from it. And if you're only ever living in that, it's like, that kind of sucks. That even though it's, fluty or whatever, it's like, maybe just a little bit of like, this is cool. That's all you got to give it. You don't have to give it much more than that. Yeah. It's like, this is nice. Like, it's like all the TV shows where the dad comes home from work, takes his pants off and sits in the chair. It's like, it's like, we don't really do that anymore, but it's like that was real, and that, like, he's appreciating that. He's been looking forward to that all day long. Yeah. And like, there's something to appreciating that a little bit, because otherwise, what, are you going to live in misery in your head all day long, every day? Yeah. Well, it's and like, that kind of sucks.
That's something I will do in any scenario that I'm enjoying it. I will do that. What I do every day is I make sure that moment happens. So even if I'm going all day or whatever, even if it's one song I listen to, or it's one, like, I have saved videos on my Instagram that I know, like, if I go to it, I'm going to love it. And like, I'll just go and pop in and watch a couple, and then that'll be it. I will make sure that happens at some point in the day. But if it happens, which it does every single day, like throughout the day, anytime I am enjoying something, I will do the same thing. I will like take the moment and go like, this is crazy that this is my life, or like, this is so awesome that I'm getting to do this, or whatever. I will do that in every single moment that I'm recognizing I'm enjoying it.
That's just got to be like a muscle that you've worked.
Yeah. Well, and that's where, like I said, like, I'm trying to make it a daily habit of making sure I get that. It's very rare if I don't have that, but sometimes when I get in the swing of things, or if I'm more overwhelmed or stressed out, I don't take time to prioritize it more. Like, I will skip the random hour and I'll just keep pushing through. It's like, no, take a second to do something, even if it's 2 minutes. But yeah, I mean, it's stupid, but it's like when we go on a walk and I'm like, look at this, like, look at the sky and the colors and whatever. You just don't have anything. And maybe it is just like, I've done that so often with so many little stupid things that I can find dumb things really cool.
I think I don't have the muscle or the consciousness during it, but I think I'm getting better at like afterwards kind of being like, yeah, that was cool.
Sure.
I don't think of it during the thing much, but yeah, I don't know. Any other more go-tos? What about you for like nutrition and stuff?
I would say the only thing that is a consistent absolutely is I try to find protein. Like, I wouldn't get all worked up if I didn't have a vegetable that day or didn't have a fruit that day. But if I didn't have like a source of good protein, I think that's where I'd be like, shit. I get a little funky about it. Traveling is always so difficult, so I just release any stress of nutrition.
Yeah, you like, have to.
Did I eat and was it not so expensive? Great, we're crushing it.
And I think you can try to pick the as best of options that you can, but yeah, it's like that's a battle you're not gonna win. So
no, and I don't want to stress about that because majority of the time I'm not doing that. It's like when we were in the airport and we had a connection, it was like the only thing we have time for is to grab Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
It's like, am I gonna go, well, you should have, like, it would have been better if you went over to that place 70 terminals down. It's like, you don't have it's either this or you don't eat for the next how many hours.
Yeah.
It's like, it's fine.
Yeah.
So then that's where I'm like, draw the line in the sand, I guess, of like, I'm not going to spiral about that. I'm going to go, this is a decision. It's done. Now just enjoy it. We ran out of coffee. That's just what it is. Go get coffee and enjoy the heck out of getting coffee. I'm getting a little bit better with that. But nutrition thing, protein, I guess, but that's so loose. Like, that's not even a real cutthroat thing. I think my nutrition goes more in drinks. Like, I will make sure I drink an adequate amount of water. I have caffeine. I try to get the electrolytes. I try to do a protein shake. I try to get the creatine every single day. It's more of the drinks and making sure that I hit all my markers with that. And maybe it's just because most of my supplements per se are drinks. So it's like, as long as I'm getting my supplements every day, I feel fine with nutrition.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my go-tos are more like attitude related. It's like, I want to make sure I get outside and get sun eyes in the morning so that I can have my morning feel a little bit more enlightened and nice. I try to wake up and like be a little bit more calm every single day so that I can go into the day a little bit smoother. I have caffeine at a specific time so that I can start spiking up out of that smoothness at a specific time and doing my electrolytes at a specific time and then doing the workout at a specific time. And everything is just to kind of like keep a good vibe all day.
Yeah, and I think most of mine is just like, oh, that'll be good for me.
Yes.
That's kind of how I think about all of it. It's like, oh, that'll be good for me to go out and be in the sun right away in the morning and like, I don't know, make coffee. That puts me in a good mood. That'll be good for me. Read a little bit before we go on the walk. That'll be good for me. Like, it's just kind of that.
And those to me, I guess,
time
would be what I was talking about of like the go-tos.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
we
it's
get
still all the
outside
same,
every morning. You try to read every single morning. Like, we try to be outside in the sun when we wake up or as close to when we wake up. We try to have time to cook food when we're here. Like we have time to implement all these activities that are good for us, like you said, but it's like they are daily things that we do.
Yeah.
Towards like we notice when we're traveling and we don't get to go outside.
Yes.
In the morning.
Yeah, and I even still try to, at least at some point in the day, or something about the sun, fresh air type of thing. Again, it's the same thought process. Like, oh, that'd be good for me if I can go do that. That is usually my like intention of any of the stuff. It's like, oh, this will be good for me.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like, oh, this avoiding this will be bad for me.
Yeah, we kind of didn't really dive deep in that topic. Maybe it's just there's not much to that, but I liked where we went anyways with the structure and the schedule and stuff. I like that we kind of had to question ourselves with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably my fault. I'm not interested in.
Yeah.
I think it's just that. It's like I don't know what to say about it.
Yeah. I think I just need to stop bringing topics because every time I bring a topic, you're just like, I don't really know what you mean. And I'm like, I don't have any other way to explain it. It's like a kid that is saying something and you just can't figure out what they're saying. And they're just like, they just give up on you. They're just like, I can't say it any other way. Like, this is all the ability I have.
I mean, what were you wanting? I don't know. I guess I
was wanting to go through.
I'm sitting here like, we fucking did it.
I was wanting to go through like our daily habits and everything that we do, but it's either you have to get me, that would take granular. 10 seconds. But you brought up 3 things. It's like everything you do is a habit. But
do you want me to go through it? Because like I said, it'll take me 10 seconds to do.
Sure.
We wake up. I make coffee. I read. I pour the coffee. We go out. Go for a beach walk. Come back. I make breakfast. Do a power hour. Go to the gym if we're going to the gym that day. Otherwise, it's probably running any errands that we have that day. We go to the gym. Come back. Have lunch. After lunch, kind of sitting, moseying a little bit, maybe for an hour, 2 hours. Go for an afternoon walk. Come back. If we need a podcast, we'll probably do that. And then dinner, go to bed. Dinner, watch Ray, go to bed. Sorry, maybe 20 seconds. That's where I'm like, okay. 30-second podcast. Great. Is that what you wanted?
No. No, but that works fine.
And your day is the exact same. So we don't even have to sit here and do 20 more seconds of your day.
No, I didn't want to go through our daily schedule. I wanted to go through like what you eat every day, what you drink every day, what are your like go-to habits of like how do you shower, how do you drink your water. Sorry, random things, but like
nobody wants to know how I shower.
But like, what are your consistent go-tos of whatever? But I'm so over it anyways. That's fine.
Next episode.
No, because it's gonna be the same thing. You not understanding what I'm trying to say. I have no other way to explain it, and then we're just gonna go back to saying the same thing. What you should have done is
you should have went first and talked about it, because I still don't know what the hell you want. You want me to talk about how I shower?
No,
that's insane.
No, I'm being erratic.
You want to put deodorant on? Like, I'm not gonna say every single freaking thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I gotta take a dump, so I do that at some point.
Yeah. I feel complete.
You're the funniest person in the world. Cool. All right.
Bye.
Next episode, we'll talk about what, whatever the hell you're trying to figure out. See ya.